Sorry. And cutting it down, I know, right? Cutting it down to fit into a film, you're going to have to lose a lot of stuff. And of course, with the DVD, I'm sure there are going to be deleted scenes, but what is sort of the most dear part of the comic that you had to let go of for the movie?
I don't know, it's a tricky one because some of the scenes that work really well in the comics just work better on the page. Like, a lot of people mention the Honest Ed sequence in the comic, but it's something that I feel that there is no way that would look cooler in live action. It's just something that I think the way he drew it is it's destined to be M&H, and that's what looks great about it. So a lot of those things, and I think also because, we had a pretty full kind of movie, so, and also I think because very early on, Brian was involved, the adaptation, kind of was sort of overseeing it, as early as 2005, so we always knew we were going to have this length of film. And there are a couple of scenes that are on the deleted scenes, on the DVD and the Blu-ray, out tomorrow, November 9th. There are a couple of bits that are from the books, but, I'm happy with this cut, and there's nothing that I really miss. And Brian was a great collaborator in that respect, because I think, and he even says so on the making of the documentary, he actually preferred sometimes when we kind of veered off the books. He's not sometimes kind of when, films are very sort of slavish to the comics, it can go kind of wrong the other way. And I think sort of because we could never fit the entire story in, the key thing was to kind of make sure that the tone was right. And because we had a different timeline, a different structure, and it was a very sort of weird organic process, because in some cases, there were things that were in early drafts of the books that didn't make it into the books, but we used in the films. And there were bits from the twins being kind of electro artists was something that was in the books, but then kind of didn't make the page. Because Brian admitted this to me the other day. He said he was too lazy to draw all the amps. He couldn't be bothered to draw all of this big amplifier, so he's hugely simplified it to a party scene instead.
But you told me that you basically sort of got ahead of him a little bit. You guys were writing scripts.
Yeah, that wasn't something we did kind of lightly, and it was really just as a placeholder, because one of the things, especially if you're in development for 6 years, some of the times you just kind of stoking the fire so that the studio doesn't forget that the project exists, because any major studio has 200 things in development, and if something's taking a long time, you kind of have to keep kind of adding little things to kind of so that they remember, oh yeah, we should make this, and that might be casting, that might be me bringing Bill on, it might be me bringing Nigel Rodgers on. Eventually we shot a test in July 2008. We shot a test of the fight scene to be able to show kind of Universal what it would look like. And that was a weird thing, because and they absolutely supported the film, and still do. Otherwise we wouldn't be here doing a promo tour for it. But there are points during the kind of development where you've been given a book and they want you to make a film, but then you end up pitching it back to them. And so it's interesting. It's kind of like a reverse psychology thing. They give you this great property, and then you kind of have to explain what it is to them. And it's so you really have to kind of sweat to kind of get it made. And that was between 2004 and 2009 was kind of actually getting all the elements together so that we could pull it off,
So you don't